Is the video recording as well?
All right. Well, now it is.
Okay.
That's a first. Well, welcome, guys. uh, I am joined today by Brian Smith. Welcome to another. Geez, let's try that again. You threw me off by asking the question at the beginning. Welcome, guys, to another episode of Clayton Terry Takes On the World. I'm your host, Clayton Terry. Today, I'm joined by Brian Smith. Brian and I met in Orlando when I went to college at UCF. And Brian was just being a player then and still being a player today. And so we're here to get the lowdown on Brian's story, see how he kind of went through his life and, you know, where he's at today and what's going on. So without further ado, Brian, what is up?
First of all, why you got to put me on blast for being a player?
The player. That's a compliment.
It does take one to know one, so I'm going to take that as a compliment from you.
I didn't mean it in like a derogatory way. Like,
no, I'm just playing around.
Nah, dude. Right? I mean, I feel like in college, like everyone always enjoyed being around you, and you know, you always had a smile on your face as you do now. I guess that's what I meant by player. I didn't mean like. Yeah, we're getting off topic. We're going down the wrong rabbit hole here. Let's start off, man. What was the first thing you wanted to be when you grew up? Start off deep.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, man. I guess like most kids growing up, I wanted to be an NFL football player, man.
Yeah,
you know, I thought I had these dreams of, you know, playing football from Mighty Might to, you know, to high school, to going to a big college and eventually getting drafted and playing in the league. But I think as you grow up, you start to realize that is a very far-fetched dream. And I'm fortunate to know a few guys actually that I played football growing up with that did go to the NFL. But I kind of cut my dream short on that after high school. Got into
Did you feel like
that car accident?
Oh, damn!
And I just kind of called it quits after that, man.
Was it what happened in the car accident?
To be honest, man, to this day I still don't really know. I just know I was somewhere where I wasn't supposed to be. You know, I was supposed to be at the library doing some studying, and
gotcha.
I was off with a chick, and. Next thing you know, man, I'm waking up in the hospital.
Oh, damn!
And apparently, I got a free helicopter ride to the hospital and all this stuff. And
jeez, dude,
I'm not gonna lie, man. I was pretty banged up. I had some staples and stitches, a neck brace, concussion. I think after that, man, just getting back on the football field, it was kind of just a little nerve wracking. You know, my coaches said they kind of saw that I was, you know, a little different on the field. You know, I kind of wasn't like all the way in it.
Like a little bit more timid kind of deal?
Yeah, like a little bit more timid. And then I think I kind of just...
You have your brush with death.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it obviously that didn't have anything to do with football, but I think it's still just kind of in your head. It's like, dang, if I hit somebody the wrong way, am I going to get another one of these concussions?
Right.
And then I got a couple offers, but they were to like schools up north, and I wasn't trying to play football in the cold, so... That's how I ended up, you know, in Orlando. Luckily, it's only 2 hours from where I'm from. So,
did you grow up in Jacksonville?
Yeah, Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Dude, there it is. I was about to do it for you. Man, the number of times I've heard people say that.
And you could be literally anywhere in the country, bro.
Yeah.
And someone's going to be shouting Duval, man. That's wild.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I don't understand. How did that all come about? Do you have any idea?
The Duval thing?
Yeah, it was just yelling Duval.
Well, I don't know if most people know this or not, but Jacksonville has got, I think, one of the only cities that the county is the actual entirety of the city. So first of all, it's pretty cool because Duval County is like Jacksonville, you know, like Orlando's in Orange County.
Right.
Like Jacksonville and Duval, it's like the same thing, which is cool. And then you also got the football team, you know, so, you know, it's just, I'm assuming it probably came from something from, you know, like the Jaguars game or something like that, you know, just kind of like our little howl, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, you can be anywhere if you say Jacksonville, the next thing you're gonna hear is Duval.
You have to go try that out. Go running around yelling about Jacksonville.
I mean, you might not get the most respect because the team is trash, but people will know what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's all about the energy, right? I feel like there's a lot of energy around just yelling Duval randomly.
Definitely. You're going to get some love for sure.
So let's keep it rolling then. So you were in high school. You had the dreams of being an NFL player and then got into a car wreck. And it sounds like it was a pretty nasty one that you actually forgot. And then I guess that kind of you started going into college and you were like, okay, I'm not going to be able to play at the best level and where I want to play. So it was kind of being put on the back burner almost.
No, man, I think I kind of you kind of realize like, all right, well, I mean, you're an athlete, you play sports, so you know how it is. Like you compete to go to the next level. You know what I mean? Like you don't really like whatever. I know you're doing some fighting right now.
Right.
You don't fight people. You don't want to keep fighting people who are on the same level as you. Like you want to keep going to the next level to get better, and you want to, get more accolades and just improve as yourself. Obviously, football is a different sport, but I mean, I just kind of, as far as that goes, I think that was kind of just man, I realized, well, hey, look, I don't think I'm going to the NFL, so I really don't want to go and play college football up north and get my ass handed to me in the cold in the snow when I could just go to school with all my friends and, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's close to home, 2 hours away from home, go to Orlando and experience college, you know what I mean? Like without all that extra stuff, because I knew I wasn't going to the pros, so it's like, well, I don't even know if I could get a full ride scholarship. So I might as well, get what's guaranteed. And I knew I had a academic scholarship. So.
Right, because even in Florida, they have a pretty good deal for what's it called? Like paying off the student's college, right? Like I think like the lottery goes to the academics, and then if you have like over a 3.5, you go to school for free. Something like that?
Yeah. I don't know if it's the same now, but it was called Bright Futures. Basically, if you had a certain G point or GPA coming out of high school, then, the Bright Futures paid a good chunk of your school. So, yeah, I mean, I knew I had that was guaranteed. So it's kind of like, just go where the guaranteed ride was.
Right. All right. No reason to get strapped out.
You got to be smart. You can't just be a goofy athlete running around. You got to be smart.
Yeah, you got to actually be worried about the numbers, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Did you feel like when you were growing up that when you were like aware, I guess, because I guess I'm thinking about myself. Like growing up, I wasn't really maybe aware of the price tag. Like I guess I knew, what I was getting into. I knew like X dollars. But I didn't realize, like, at the end of the day, once you get out of it, like, how you had to pay that back, the amount that you had to pay that back, and, like, all, like, the numbers involved with that. So did you feel like when you got into college, you were more attuned to that or aware of that, I guess, process of how a loan works?
Honestly, bro, I can tell you something that I'm really thankful for. I didn't have to pay I didn't pay to go to school. So, like I said, I had the academic scholarship, the Bright Future scholarship because of my GPA.
Right.
And then I also qualified for financial aid. So on top of my scholarship, financial aid would also give me X amount of dollars per semester. So whatever Bright Futures didn't cover, the financial aid would cover. And then I would actually get a check for the remainder of what was left on the financial aid. So I'm super blessed. And that's part of the reason why I kind of did a bunch of stuff after college is because I didn't have to pay back loans.
Right.
So I never took out a single loan for college. I think I had to pay for like a summer class one time, and that wasn't but a few $100s, you know what I mean? So, but I do know that people are spending a lot of money on college and, people rack up 30, 40, 60, 100 plus in student loan debt, which sucks.
Right.
Because it can't possibly be worth that much. I don't know, but I don't think it would have been worth that much if I was paying for it. Maybe I would have paid more attention in college if I was paying for it. So I don't know,
Hey,
man.
I mean, you
But yeah, I
graduated
didn't
there,
have
right?
to. Yeah, C's gets degrees, man. I realized that. I think that's where things went downhill for me in college, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Whenever you realize
It
that.
kind of hit me one day. I'm like, damn, C's really get degrees, huh? So then I'm thinking, well, if this guy here, if he gets an A and I get a C, we're going to get the same degree at the end of this. We're going to get the same thing. So that's where I think it's kind of a joke, man. Like, I got the same degree as someone who, like, I mean, I don't know. I kind of got by, I don't know. It's just me. Like, I just wanted the paper because that's what you go to school to get the paper, right?
Sure.
I don't know, man. Yeah.
I always find the whole college conversation interesting because I've heard like a lot of people, let's say, especially like well-known people or like, Elon Musk, I know has talked about the subject. I know Elon said like, college is only for, what did he say? College is only for like learning how to do your chores. And I know that there's other, famous people who claim that college isn't necessary, in order to be successful. I think part of the reason is, because we have the internet, you have literally any piece of information that you want at your fingertips. So YouTube and Google are free. So why, should you have to put down this 5-figure, probably 6-figure in most cases, number and have to pay it back over the course of 40 years,
I agree, man. Like, that's pretty crazy. And then you also think about, like you said, there's so much stuff on YouTube, and especially nowadays, like all of the real, I'm not going to say all of them, but a lot of the real ways that you make money.
Right.
Like today, you don't need any type of certification or degree. Really, just a lot of the ways you just need to be 18 so you can sign up for it. You know what I mean? And you can spend months on YouTube for free and learn how to do a trade. Honestly, like I feel like, man, like the stuff that needs to be, I don't know, like unless maybe like if you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer, like literally something like that. I mean, yeah, go to school, but besides that, you could find it on YouTube. YouTube University, man.
Right. Hey, the only problem is
I think it's just a lot of information. I think could be a lot of information on there. And without having any structure, you could, mislearn something or get the wrong information from someone who is a quote unquote guru of this topic or, so that's kind of where I could see obviously the system of the school and everything being better.
Or you like miss out on like some piece of information that's important to the whole subject, I guess, as a whole.
Yeah.
And never learn about it. And and this is kind of what I've been thinking about too, is whenever I've heard of the whole like I have this whole is college necessary conversation. My thought process is, okay, one, and I think it's also fascinating that Elon Musk did go to college, so to hear him say, okay, it's only for doing your chores. It's like, okay, so, after the fact that you got it, it's like, he's now saying that he doesn't think that it's necessary. But I think in his statement, I think there's actually some like validity to it where it's like, you need to be able to develop that discipline to be able to do whatever it is that you're doing, right? Even if you are just watching YouTube videos to learn a trade, you need to have the discipline to do that, I guess, every day, working out. I can see you've been like a little undisciplined lately. You're just messing with
it. I see
it.
You got jokes on.
Yeah. I had to, man. I can't see you and not make a joke about it. But like you need, if you want to be like big, if you want to be strong, if you want to be good at jiu-jitsu, you have to have that discipline of doing something every single day. And so, I mean, I hate to think of college as just like a glorified, doing your chores. But I guess like the act of learning that discipline it's still not worth, it still doesn't validate $100,000 in debt, in order to put you in, I don't know, in servitude to the banks for, the next 40 years of your life.
Yeah, I think I absolutely agree with you because the majority of like the things that I've really learned just that are gonna give you any kind of real skill set are just actually going out there and doing it.
Yeah.
It's almost like when you have to get a certification for something just to say that you had the certification, and then when you go out and do the actual job, you don't know nothing that you were taught on the certification actually has applied to help you out. Well, like obviously some of the stuff that you learn, it's like, okay, well, this was valuable. I remember that, but everything that you're actually like doing and actually like physically going out there and accomplishing, it's because you actually, it was like trial and error. You know what I mean? Like you got the job, you set up the training course for whatever it was, and then either it worked or it failed, but then you went back and you corrected it and you did it again. Now you learned what happened versus a test that you took when you were hungover, on a Saturday, you have like the last day to take the test. But that's like anything though. You have to, you just have to have the certification. You have to have the degree to get, but if you're looking for something where you have to have that, then you go out and get it. But if you want to do something where you don't have to have it, you learn how to go out and get it. Like there's plenty of things that require it and you can make a lot of money that you need a degree for. And there's plenty of things that don't. So that's why I guess you can't really, be one way or about it, because it's like some people are going to do it or some people aren't going to do it. And
Right.
It's not like one way or it's better or there's a right or a wrong way.
Yeah. I mean, there's certainly something to be said for needing the industry experience, because it's not even, but that was a big thing that I think I realized with like computer engineering is whenever I got into the actual field and started working, I mean, there was an element of writing code, which is like what I studied, pretty much all of it. But that was maybe 25% of the job. And it's like the other 75%, talking with people, figuring out how to like plan out how you're going to write code, doing like system requirements, which is like, okay, if we're going to create this code, what do we want it to do? Why do we want it to do it? What's in the budget to make this code? It's like, I guess I just always found it so fascinating how if a job is 100% of a job in college, I paid $100,000, let's say, for 25% of the job that I'm learning whenever I get out of college. To me, that was just like, I feel like I should be proficient if I'm paying that much money. We should be covering all this stuff. Like, why are we leaving out such important pieces of creating this stuff if, it's, I don't know, if I'm paying my more money than hopefully I ever take a loan out for, but
So let me ask you a question. When you went to school for coding, well, computer engineer, sorry, what were you expecting to get out of that? Like, were you expecting to get a job that you were gonna make more than what you were paying for it, or were you expecting to work in the field and work your way up until you hit that position to where you're making that type of salary or income? You know what I mean? Or like, were you just kind of doing it to get the degree and then kind of saying like, oh, well, I kind of got to pay this much because I want to get this degree, so I'm going to get the degree and then I'll figure it out and pay it back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so a little bit of the last. My mindset was mostly like I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And then in high school I took a coding class and I was like blown away by it. I was like, this is the coolest shit in the world. Like I get to type into a computer and it can like print out like what I just told it to say. Like I was blown away by it. And then the second thought I had is, oh shit, like coding's the future. Like this shit isn't going anywhere. We're going to have this thing for forever. And so those were the two thoughts I had. So I was essentially mesmerized by it and loved learning about it. And then the other element was that I just saw it as the future. Outside of that, like I really didn't put much thought or even care about like what I was going to be doing with it outside of college. Like after college, I didn't have any like regards for the number that I was paying. I didn't have any regards for what I was going to be paying per month afterwards. My mind was literally just, I love learning about this, and it's not going anywhere. So it would be a good skill to have.
Do you think that you could have learned that 25% that you said was important to the job? Do you think you could have learned that on YouTube or
100%.
on a course?
Yeah.
Someone selling a course?
Yeah. 100%.
Somewhere?
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I did in college. If a professor like just introduced a topic, if it's like circuits, or if it was like a certain theorem or a certain algorithm, if I didn't understand how he explained it, I went to YouTube anyhow. Yeah, I mean, it's not. Yeah, so it's just like, what the fuck, like.
Do you think that part of your 100,000, obviously being able that you got to live the college experience, do you think that would make learning what you learned plus paying for the loan that you owe or whatever, your student debt? Because college was pretty fun. Think about that now. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I know we had some good times and you had some times when, before we met and all that stuff afterwards. So if you throw that all into the bundle,
that's a good point.
What would you say?
I think that's probably a really good point, and something that's probably overlooked is, we're essentially kids who haven't done anything. Apologize if you guys heard that in the background. The loud cars going by. But to get back to your point, sorry, now I just lost my train of thought. We were talking about, right, kids going to college. There has to be something to be said, right, for 18-year-old kids who have never been outside of their parents' home, being placed in an environment with other 18-year-old to 22-year-old kids, right, where you've never been out in the world by yourself. So you need to test out, hell, I guess all these different things. Like, what does it mean to live on my own? Like, what does it mean to, I need to go get my own groceries? Or what does it mean that, like, I need to take care of myself? And I think there's probably a lot of utility in the fact that you kind of get placed in the same area, or you're like introduced, like if you're on campus housing or, in first year housing, it's like, okay, here's all the people that are trying to figure it out. Now go do it. Would you kind of say you feel like you had have a similar interpretation of that?
I mean, I never really thought of it that way, but I always did think it was, I don't know, kind of just like, all right, well, you survived your high school years now, you know what I'm saying? This is the next step. And I didn't really think it was too hard to like figure out how to pay bills and stuff, So yeah. I do think like obviously you have way more responsibility, so that's something where like you kind of have to grow up a little bit, or you at least that's when or you're just living that college lifestyle at that point. But I mean, as you were saying that though, that goes back to what Elon said about college is just learn how to do your chores. You know what I mean?
Yeah, to just prove it, right? To prove that you can do your laundry, you can make your own food, that you can study, right? Because that's always a difficult thing for parents to get their kids to study. Mm-hmm. But there's utility in that, right? Because parents still do chores, right? And so maybe, you need some level of being around people your own age. Sorry, I gotta stop real quick. Is there something like getting hit in your, like the background of your?
Oh, snap. Hang on, man. Can I mute this?
Maybe along the bottom.
Let me see.
But
Mike, mute.
All right, you're muted. I guess I'll just keep talking while I figure that out. I lost my train of thought. Oh, you guys are gonna kill me. Let me see here. What were we talking about? Kids doing chores. So if you're doing your chores, oh, lost my train of thought. I apologize for this dead air, guys. Looks like Brian has walked away for a small time being to go check on something because of all that clashing kind of in the background. Might have been like a thing. Okay, he's back now. You there?
Yeah, that was just the dryer. I didn't realize how loud it was.
Yeah, it's all good. Just trying to keep the viewers entertained for the small break.
Oh yeah, yeah. You were talking about
We're talking about
basically,
chores.
like, a bunch of 18-year-olds being put in a small community,
Right.
not a small community, but like a environment where there's other
You think
people in a similar situation.
you
18,
think
20
about
year
it.
olds, but then you're also in a big city.
Yeah, if you think about it, it's kind of like the whole Hunger Games. Maybe not the Hunger Games specifically, but there's like teen adventure books where it's like, all right, let's just take teens and just put them into a little bit of a society and see what they do. You know, it's always like college tried to pull that off, where it's like, here's kids who hopefully their parents taught them the right way. Now let's see how they interact together, and hopefully they help each other to figure out how to do their chores. Like, I wonder if there's any justification for the price in that way, that perception of looking at college.
I mean, like I said, I don't know. I didn't pay for school, so that's why I was, because I mean, honestly, the way I see it, though, college was like a big social experiment. Like, that was for me because I personally, I got a marketing degree. I don't think, I mean, marketing is one of those things that I don't think you should. I mean, yeah, there's some benefits in going to school and getting a degree for it, but with today's day and age, a marketing degree, I feel like is pretty pointless, honestly.
Yeah.
So I kind of just took college, like I said, and I just I enjoyed the college experience. I'm sure if I would have had to pay for school, I probably would have done the exact same thing that I did. I made friends, I think, but if I had to pay for it, I feel like that would have just been a cost of it, because all the stuff that was paid for me was classes, housing, and books, which is, I'm sure, what you paid for out of your student loans. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I probably would have had the same kind of mindset, honestly, because it was just, let's get this degree type thing. I'm having fun while I'm in college. I'm living the college lifestyle.
Yeah.
I know this isn't where I'm going to be for forever, so why not just have fun for this phase?
Just do what you got to do, kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just kind of
how you viewed it.
How I looked at it. Yeah,
because you're out in Arizona now, right? So, like, still not in Florida or anything.
Yeah, in Arizona.
So if we get back to your story then, right? You were a marketing degree at UCF. What happened after you graduated? What did you do with the marketing degree?
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. You're just like, I got this piece of paper. I'm not doing anything with it.
You want to know what I did after I graduated?
Tell me.
2 days after I graduated, I went to Thailand for 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. I remember you going to Thailand.
And that's when life got real fun.
Well, because is this around whenever you went to Australia then, too? Was that right before? That was right before? Well,
this is when I got my first little taste.
Well, then I know there's an interesting story with Australia. Do we want to start in Thailand?
I mean, I don't know how much time you have. I can try to condense this as much as I can.
Let's hear it.
I mean, I pretty much went to Thailand 2 days after I graduated. Yeah, I graduated in December. I wasn't even home for Christmas or anything. I just left. My best friend was living in Thailand, so she wanted to have me out for a few weeks. Go to Thailand for 2 weeks, spend New Year's out there, and then funny story. I'm in Thailand and in Bangkok and going to a few of the islands and stuff like that, partying, eating good, seeing like some real like really rural stuff like in Thailand to where most people will never go when they go to Thailand, like in the country.
Yeah.
Those people had never seen a black person in real life before. I was like people were shocked and surprised, and they were like mind blown that there was a black person in their city. You know what I mean? Like the kids never seen a black person. Older people, they're blown away.
Really? What's that like?
Hilarious. It was awkward, but then it was also funny.
Yeah.
Because everyone's just pointing at me, and I'm thinking like, bro, what are y'all pointing at?
Yeah, like calm down.
They were pointing at me. Yeah, they were like, it was nothing bad. They're just like, holy crap, look, they're like tapping their friends like, look, there's and I don't know what they're saying, but I know they're saying, hey, look, there's a black guy over there. Because everyone would look.
Yeah.
But nah, Thailand's cool. It was awesome. Thailand's fun. And then when I was in Thailand, I got an email. This is after I graduated and walked across the stage. I got an email telling me to register for spring classes. And I was a little confused because I thought I had graduated already.
Yeah.
And turns out I didn't pass one of my classes.
Oh my gosh.
And so C's get degrees, but D's don't get degrees.
Nah.
So, yeah, I definitely had to go back to school for a summer semester. But right after that, in October of the same year, that's when I booked a one-way ticket to Thailand and then backpacked through Asia for 2 months with my best friend, and then moved to Australia for a year.
So real quick, you went from Thailand, but then you had to come back to take the class.
I had to come home.
And then you went back to Thailand.
Then I went back to Asia, yeah.
What was it like backpacking through Asia? You said Southeast Asia?
Man, it was sick. It was a lot of things, bro. It was eye-opening.
Yeah.
It was a learning experience. It was
what was the biggest thing you learned? What was the most impactful?
I would say the biggest thing is I kind of learned I was a little selfish.
Okay.
I was traveling with my best friend, and there was a lot of times when we would like bicker and argue a little bit, but I think it was because we were both just like really not selfish, but like, I don't know, you kind of always want to be right with the other person. It was literally like my best friend, and like, I don't know, we would just kind of clash, and I feel like if you just kind of just, be cool, like.
Just because you were spending so much time with each other?
Yeah, it was like one of those things.
Okay.
But I learned that I could travel by myself as well.
That's a big thing.
But also, yeah, I don't know, man. I think I also learned like you also got to be really humble in a lot of places and appreciative of what you have too, because like a lot of those places, bro, like, and they don't got it, bro. Like, there's like in our standards, like poor, what I'm saying?
Right.
Out there, like the little things, like just make them, just excited, bro. You know how it is. You've been to these places, bro, where they're like, the smallest little thing to us, we're like, oh man, this is nothing. But for them, it's like, holy crap, like this is amazing. Thank you so much. Like,
yeah,
and they look, I don't know, I won't say like look up, but they like appreciate us coming out there and being nice to them and stuff too, like Americans. And
yeah, it's like there's like a why do you want to be here? Like, why wouldn't you just stay in America? Like, kind of thing.
Yeah. And I ain't gonna lie, man. It's different, I feel like, being a black guy out there.
Yeah.
Like it's I'm not gonna say like a racist way or anything like that, but I know for a fact, like, they don't look at black people and white people like they look at the black person as more of like, holy crap, like there's it's like this amazing thing, you know what I'm saying? And I'll be out there with like my white homies chilling, and people are like coming up to me and like trying to touch on me, and
Really?
just like,
Yeah.
holy crap. People taking pictures of me out in public. I'm like,
That's crazy.
what?
But I guess you did. It sounds because normal. I guess
It's almost like you're a celebrity.
that's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna
In a
say.
way,
It's like,
yeah.
did you feel like you were a
Yeah,
celebrity at all?
yeah, but I'm not a celebrity, so I'm thinking like, damn, this is like, this is kind of like, I'm always like, I'll be smiling and stuff. I'm probably in like hella people's pictures on their phones at one point. They're all doing this in their pictures,
Oh, dude, that's classic.
But
Asia.
yeah,
Just put out the peace sign.
yeah, it's pretty cool, man. But yeah, Asia's cool. I got into, we had to travel a lot of Asia. Saw 5 countries in Asia.
Nice.
Southeast Asia.
That's a lot.
Met some friends. Man, I think the best part was just like the people that I met along the way. Like a lot of them I forgot now, but there's just like, man, just so many memories. If I go back and look at pictures of, we traveled from different countries, and there's kind of like a lot of people go to the same spot. So you meet people in one country, and then, you'll never see them again, right? Because you're there for one night and they're just passing by, but you guys do some crazy off the wall stuff, like, I don't know, do some cave diving and stuff during the day. And then you kind of like make friends with people along the way. And then, you go to the next little town and then you meet someone. Like, I don't know, man.
Right.
I met some people and we traveled like, I met some homies, man. We met them like the first country we went to, and they ended up changing their whole schedule, and they ended up traveling with me and my homegirl for the rest of the trip. It was like for 2 months, basically. They just changed their whole trip, bro. They just like,
Really?
fuck it, man. Y'all are cool. We're in the vibe with y'all. They're from England. Met them like the 3rd day we were out.
Yeah.
They're just like, fuck it, bro. They ended up coming to Australia and everything.
Yeah.
Bro, we just randomly met these dudes out in Laos, some random country next to Thailand.
And they're just like, these guys know what's going on. Like,
bro, they're like, oh, y'all are cool, man. It was me, my homegirl, this little white chick. She ends up liking one of the British guys. They were 2 buddies traveling, so it was like,
yeah.
Well, they were cool with each other, and then I'm cool with the homies, of course, obviously. So, yeah, bro, it was tight. And then, yeah, I still talk to them boys now.
That's pretty cool.
Met in some random country in Thailand.
And you just met them in like a random town in Asia.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then even along the way, man, like, that's probably the best part, bro. Like, I get on Facebook right now and just be like, yo, I'm coming to England. Who's got me on a spot? Or, saying there's some random person that I met like 3 years ago that we still like each other's posts on Instagram and Facebook.
Right. Just from making these trips like to, China or Asia.
All over the world, bro.
Yeah. Because everybody's doing it, right? I mean, I assume you're going to be staying at places like hostels or something where, all these people who travel are going to be, right? You're not like going to be diving into the Airbnbs of
man,
it.
It's not like out here, man. Like, because I mean, we were backpacking on a budget. You know what I mean? Like, $1,500 was the budget for 2 months.
Damn.
Like we were balling on a budget.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And believe it or not, it pretty much worked. That covered food. A meal is like $1.50, maybe $1 for a full meal. For a hostel, if you stay in a dorm room, where there's multiple people in the room, maybe $4 a night. If you want to get like a little private room or something smaller, $6, $7. I don't know, man, like $9, $10 a night. You know what I mean?
Right.
This stuff is so cheap. But when you're balling on a budget, it's kind of like you're not really spending a lot of time in the room anyways, you know what I mean? So a lot of the times we're just like, fuck it, bro. Let's just get a little dorm. It's like 4 people in here. Everybody got bunk beds, so it's like, whatever, we're just going to crash. We're going to wake up the next day. We're going to leave anyways. We ain't going to be here. So yeah, $1,500, bro. We tried to do that and it almost worked.
Oh, it's worked.
Yeah.
What happened?
Someone stole them. I think we got drunk as fuck one night.
Yeah.
In Chiang Mai, Thailand, and I'm pretty sure I left the keys to my little motor scooter in the keys when we left.
Yeah.
And I woke up in the morning and it wasn't there no more. So we had to go to the place, and we told the dude that the scooter wasn't there. Next thing you know, man, they took me to the police station. They done took my passport, scanned my passport and everything. They're like, yeah, you can't leave Thailand until you pay this man $1,500.
Jeez. Just for the scooter.
Just for the scooter, bro.
Oh.
And I know it wasn't a 15, like it wasn't like, the scooter.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
it was maybe like 500, but yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe it was 500.
And then honestly, I think they probably stole the scooter, bro.
You think they took it?
The shop. Bro, they'll do that, man. The shop, they probably took the scooter. Now they got a scooter and they got 1,500.
That's crazy. That's crazy, man. Well, I believe in karma, so whatever. If that's what they needed to do, that's going to come back and bite them later.
Yeah, but that's the price you pay.
Yeah,
I think the best thing about me when I travel is like nothing really ever goes smooth, but it's always like a good time. Like we're gonna have fun, but it's almost guaranteed something fucked up's gonna happen along the way. It's gonna be like, I don't know about this, but everything's gonna be good at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, I mean, wouldn't it be a venture if it was all smooth, right?
Yeah. Yeah, man. I swear, I gotta be like one of the best people to travel with, bro. Like, I'm gonna get you there.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just gonna.
We'll figure it out once you're there.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, let's just go and figure it out.
Yeah.
But then that kind of gets me in trouble sometimes.
No,
but
that's all a part of the process, right? You can't have 100% batting record.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
That's the case, man. I'd have a whole lot more women. No, I'm playing.
So what happened after you got your scooter stolen? Are you still in Asia at this point?
Oh yeah, man. We just paid it. I had to pay for it, and then we just left.
Yeah.
I was in Asia for 2 months. Thailand, Vietnam, Laos, Singapore, Indonesia, and then after that, moved to Australia. That was fun. Stayed in Australia for a little over a year. And
okay, so I remember when you were first telling me the story about like you being the only black person. I thought that was in Australia. Was that also there, or was that only in Asia?
Yeah, I mean, in Asia, there wasn't a lot of people that looked like me either.
No. But what about in Australia? Was that the same thing, or were there more African Americans in Australia?
There was hardly any African Americans in Australia. I mean, there were some, but have some military guys or something, or like, a few athletes or a few people like me just come in, but it wasn't a lot. You know what I mean?
It was more of a thing in Asia where it was like, you were a celebrity kind of thing.
Oh yeah, I mean, honestly, everywhere I went when I traveled outside of the U.S., I'm not gonna say I'm like looked at as a celebrity, but I feel like being a African American guy internationally, people just give you a little bit more attention. It's kind of like, when a hot chick, she gets the pretty pass. I think I'm a pretty decent looking black guy, and you go internationally and they see a lot of black guys on TV, so they're looking at me like, damn, look, that guy looks like maybe one of the guys from the TV. I don't know.
That's interesting. Yeah, I guess I just find that interesting. It's like something you don't really think about, I guess. Like if I didn't know you, I would never guess, or like that wouldn't be like a thing,
Yeah, but when you go somewhere and there's like no black people, well, not hardly any black people, it's like, damn, okay, look, wow, this guy really stands out.
Sure. If you go to like a certain region or part of the world, I guess Asia especially, right? I mean, you're probably twice the size as most of the people there to begin with. So it's like, add on top of that, it's like a very in your face, I guess. I don't want to say in your face. I don't know the appropriate way to word it.
I don't know, man. I just went to Mexico over the weekend. When I go to Mexico, it's kind of like the same thing, man.
Really?
It's like, yeah, bro. I don't know if it's because I look good or what.
It's not even because you're black. It's just because you look good.
I think that's what it is. I'm making this a race thing.
Yeah.
I'm just a sexy motherfucker.
Maybe you look like Jamie Foxx or something, and it's like your doppelganger. And they think that's who they're taking pictures of.
That's funny.
So Australia, what happened? What happened down under? You went there after Asia.
Yeah, man. So a lot of people do that. They'll start off in Thailand, in Asia, and then they'll go to Australia afterwards and work on a work visa.
Okay.
So I got a year work visa where I had, I was able to get a full time job, and I got taxes and stuff like that. I was basically, I was good. So I started off in Sydney, which was pretty cool. I had a friend from UCF actually that lived in Sydney, and I stayed at her place for a month, and then from there I moved to Melbourne, which is my favorite place. But I met a chick in Bali, and she lived in Melbourne, so that was convenient because she let me stay at her crib for like a week until I can kind of like find a little spot and all that stuff. So that was pretty nice. But she was really strange. She was like, I'm not gonna say strange because I don't know who's watching this, but basically she kept telling me that these spirits were talking to her and telling her that I'm bringing in bad energy and stuff. And I'm like, all right, well, I don't know who's talking to you, but I think I should get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't trying. Every time I'd walk by, she'd like wave the sage behind me. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I would literally just go out all day, look for jobs, and go out find food, and I'm just saying. And every time I'd come in, she's like, "Oh my god, like, did you feel that?" I'm like, "But did you like?" I don't know. What am I supposed to be feeling right now?
Oh, is this chick like out there?
Bro, crazy part, she was hot. And I had met her in Bali, and I'm thinking, damn, yeah, she's straight. She let me stay at her crib. I'm thinking, maybe not the first night, but the second night, I'm definitely going to hit that shit. You know what I'm saying? She didn't seem weird in Bali. And I get to her crib, and I'm just like, what is going on? But I ended up finding a job after like the first week of living out there. So that was cool. And then I met some homies.
Are we in Bali? We're back in Australia now?
This was in Australia, yeah.
Okay.
So this is in Melbourne. And then I met my homies. Those guys pretty much were like, it's like the second week I was there, I met the people I chilled with every single day, basically, while I lived in Melbourne. They all worked out at the gym I got a job at and lived in the same little neighborhood, basically, that I found us a crib at. And then, yeah, stayed in Australia for a while, a year. That was a lot of fun. Such a laid back lifestyle.
And then, did you make a trip to New Zealand at all?
Went to New Zealand, met some people in Bali. Nah, this was in. Where did we meet them at? It was in Laos, I think. Yeah, in Laos. First week I was in Asia, met these people who are from New Zealand. So they told me and my friend that we could come out and visit if we had time. So while we were in Australia, we just popped over to New Zealand for like 6 weeks, stayed with them, and that was pretty fun. Saw snow for the first time, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But, it was like in the same little city where they did the Lord of the Rings and all that stuff.
Okay.
So that was pretty nice. And then came back to Australia and then moved to a place called Surfer's Paradise. And then stayed there for a few months.
And what was kind of like your goal whenever you went into this? Were you like it seems like you kind of like went into like Asia, and then was the plan always to go to Australia afterwards? Like, how much of this did you?
Oh yeah, my plan.
How much of this did you have planned out beforehand?
It was planned. Well, it was. I had like an idea of what I wanted. You know what I mean? So I knew my homegirl. She was living in Asia. She had the whole trip planned. I was just like, all right, well, I'm down. Whatever you plan, like I'm down to do it.
Okay.
I knew it was going to be 2 months long. I knew she had everything pretty much mapped out. And I told her, I was like, hey, look, I've always wanted to go to Australia. Let's just move out. Let's just move to Australia. And she was kind of like, all right, well, let's shit. I mean, I had to talk her into it after a while, but she was like, all right, well, fuck it, let's move to Australia. She was teaching English in Thailand, so she's already like abroad. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So after the 2 months in Asia, I was like, all right, bet. Well, she came home to the States for a month. And then that's when I went to Sydney. I had a friend who lived in Sydney from UCF. So that was planned for me to stay there for a month. And then the plan was for us to move to Melbourne, Australia. But that was like as far as the plan got. So when we were in Asia, like I said, I met the chick who's from Melbourne.
Yeah.
So I'm like, bet, well, I have. And my friend, she also came home for a month. So I'm in Sydney for a month. And my friend, she's in Florida because she's been living abroad for like a year. So I'm in Sydney for a month. And then when I moved to Melbourne, I found us an apartment and everything. But the guys that we met in Asia, they were like, yeah, we're coming out too. So we all ended up getting and I found us a place for all of us to live together. So then my friend comes out, but I had already been living in Melbourne for maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Okay.
By the time she got there. But that was the plan. Yeah, it was to just move to Australia. And then we heard about all the different, like, you could find a job pretty easy.
In Australia, like as an American?
You know, it's finding, yeah, I mean, you just have to have this work visa, but pretty much you can get a job doing anything.
That's pretty cool. Just by being American and getting a work visa?
Just being,
or just you
it's just like being one of them.
Yeah,
it's just like being a citizen at that point. Like, you know, you have legal work rights, so we didn't have any clue what we wanted to do, but just knew that we could go out there and work and travel and see some new stuff.
Well,
you know what I mean?
So did you get like what is it we called? Did you get the visa before you even went? Did you get a work visa before you even went to Australia?
Yeah, you have to get it before you go over there.
Oh, okay. So that's interesting. It's not like you get a job and then you need to apply for the work visa. It's like you just get the work visa on your own for a year and then you can go and live there.
And then figure out, yeah.
So
get your jobs and stuff.
So this actually might be a good tie-in as you're going through Asia, as you get to Australia. What were you like? Was there any plan for what you wanted to do after this? Like, did you have any plan of like what you're gonna do for money to get a job, or was it kind of just like I'll figure it out once I'm out? Yeah, it's just
I figured I would just figure it out. I didn't even save up a lot of money.
No,
I saved up, I want to say a total. I left the country with all of my bags packed, not knowing when I was going to come home. I probably had maybe $6,000 or $7,000.
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
Yep.
And you're planning to go for 3 months?
No, I knew I was going to live in Australia for a year.
You're going to live in, okay, right.
But yeah.
And then 1,500 was
for Asia.
Yeah, okay.
And then I spent $3,000 in Asia because I had to pay for that motorbike. So I'm already like, damn, that's kind of cutting into my money.
Yeah.
And then, you know, but found a job, man. It's just like if you were here, you know what I mean? You got to find a job and work. It's the same thing.
Right.
You got to make money. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you're just in a different country. I mean, they speak English, so it's not like they can't understand you or anything like that, you know?
Yeah.
It's just,
which is huge.
You know, you kind of just like, yeah, you got to go out and, you know, do you want to, I mean, yeah, like, so I don't, that wasn't like a challenge or anything, like finding jobs and making money and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So you were never.
Australia was fun.
Yeah. What did you do in Australia?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Did you kind of just bounce around there? What did you do for work?
Bounced around, man. I did all kind of shit, bro. I found a job at a gym. I did some topless waitering.
I remember that. I remember the pictures.
Yeah, I was doing some of that stuff. I was finding little random stuff on Craigslist, little jobs, little cash in hand jobs. I was selling drugs. I was
just whatever people needed.
I was just getting by, really.
Yeah, just doing whatever.
Honestly, man, it was just kind of one of those things where I was still like, I'm getting by. Like, you know, I'm knowing that wasn't that. I don't know, bro. Like, I knew it was just another phase, like, all right, this isn't going to last for forever. So let's just, whatever we can do to make some bread so we can go out and party tonight. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I can afford to do this. Looking back on that, while I was in Australia, I probably would have found like a solid job so I could have racked up a lot of money, because that was a gold mine opportunity to make some money.
In Australia?
But still, yeah, I mean, I still had fun. You know, I don't regret anything.
Well, what makes Australia a gold mine opportunity?
They just get paid a lot more money.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they get paid a lot more. You know, it's just like their cost of living and everything, and converted to the U.S. dollar, like it's not as strong. But while living out there, you know, I probably could have been balling a little bit more.
Interesting.
You know, but I had a blast. I wouldn't do anything different.
Yeah, hell yeah. No regrets, man.
I wouldn't do anything different. No, man.
And then
I even got deported from Australia, bro.
Yeah, tell us that story.
That's actually wild. So keep in mind, I started in Asia, then now I'm in Australia, and my year visa is expiring. So I applied for another visa, and on that visa, I could live in Australia, I just legally couldn't work. It was just a visitor's visa. So I legally couldn't get a job. So that's when I'm doing like little cash. I'm boring you, huh? Yeah, my story.
Dude, I worked out 3 times today, man. I'm here. I'm listening.
But I legally couldn't even have a job, so I'm finding little cash in hand jobs, or I was like, you know, I'm selling weed, I'm selling, you know, little party favors and stuff like that. I'm getting by.
Right.
And so that one was expiring. It was only for 3 months. No, it was only like 2 or 3 months. So now I'm like, damn, I really want to stay out here. I really want to stay in Australia. Like, I don't want to go back to the States type thing. So I'm trying to come up with a plan of like how I can stay in Australia. So after doing a little bit of research, you know, I'm looking at what's out there, like if I can apply for another visa and stuff. And, you know, I read something online that I could apply for another visitor's visa, but I couldn't apply for the visa while I was in Australia. Like, I couldn't apply for them consecutively. I would have to leave the country to apply for it.
Okay.
And then come back in the country, right? So I'm like, all right, bet. Well, New Zealand's right, you know, a 2-hour flight. I'll fly to New Zealand, and then I'll just apply for the visa there, and then I'll come back. And all of that was less expensive than trying to apply for the visa again in Australia. You know, so in my head, I'm thinking like, oh, okay, yeah, this will be easy. Like, I'll just, you know, I'll go to New Zealand, boom. I flew into Christchurch, and I drove a van from Christchurch to Queenstown. So it's like, no, I said that backwards, from Queenstown to Christchurch. It was like a 6 or 7 hour drive or something like that. Just cool little drive, man. Picked up a hitchhiker and like just cool little scenic little drive, man.
Yeah.
And I had some friends who were from Australia, and they were in Christchurch also. So the plan was for me to just start where I was from the south, drive to the north, party with my friends that night, which we did successfully.
Nice.
And then I applied for the visa. So I'm thinking like, all right, cool. Well, I've applied for this visa. Like, I'm going to be good. I can just go back to Australia tomorrow, just as my plan is going to, you know, be fucking perfect, right?
Right.
So then we drive down back to Queenstown the next day. And I'm like telling the homies, I'm like, all right, well, I'll see you guys tomorrow or later tonight. You know, I'm thinking, you know, everything's going to be good.
Yeah.
And then go through the TSA, and they're like, yeah, you know, they got to ask you a couple questions. And they start questioning me about like, all right, well, you know, you're on a visitor's visa and you can't work, and you're applying for another visitor's visa. Like, where's the money coming from? Like, how are you funding all of this stuff? And that's where things kind of went downhill, because, you know, they're knowing that I'm doing some stuff under the table, basically, unless I can prove to them, you know, that I have either money coming in from somewhere externally, or, you know, I have just a lump sum of money that I'm living off of.
Right.
And, yeah, that's what got interrogated for like 4 hours, bro.
Jeez.
And yeah, they ended up telling me that they're not going to let me back in the country. So at that point, I'm like, damn, well, this sucks because I just came from Australia. I left for a day and a half. I went to New Zealand. I came back. Now I'm trying to get into Australia and I can't get into Australia. So now I'm in like this detention center, calling my friends. I'm like bawling on the phone, bro. I'm like, man, I'm getting fucking deported. Like, brother, shit, man, fucking, I'm crying, all this stuff, bro.
Yeah.
My friends come the next day during the visiting hours. And all of my homies I met in Melbourne, it was like 6 of my homies and my best friend. They all came up, dropped me off all my stuff, and we kind of like had our little laughs and all that stuff. And then taken to the airport. Next thing you know, they tell me I'm getting dropped off in Hawaii. And, I live in Florida at the time.
Yeah.
So now randomly get dropped off in Hawaii. Luckily, I had family there, so I got to stay there for a few days. But, I got banned from Australia for 3 years. And then that's when life started, was when I arrived back from Australia. So I'm like, all right, well, fun's over now. Shit's real. You got to go out and get a fucking job now, boy.
You got to do something. So what was that plan?
Figure it out.
I mean, well, first of all, Hawaii's not a bad place to be dropped off in for,
not at all.
Getting deported to Hawaii. It doesn't sound too bad.
That's what I'm saying, bro. So I went from Australia to New Zealand to Australia to Hawaii in like 3 or 4 days, bro. Just imagine how stressful that was.
That's a lot of traveling.
Getting deported, no sleep, tossed on a plane.
Then I get to Hawaii.
Then I get to Hawaii, my phone doesn't work because it's my Australian SIM card. My debit card didn't work. I didn't have any U.S. cash. But I was all kind of I was screwed when I got to Hawaii for a while. Luckily, I had family out there. Somehow, by the grace of God, I had family out there.
That's awesome.
Or I would have been selling my body at the airport.
Man,
but yeah,
that's pretty real.
So that's how my trip ended. I had a wild trip. That's how my trip ended. It was amazing.
Well, I mean, you got out of it, right?
I can't see it ending I can't see it ending any other way.
That's how it had to happen.
Yeah.
It sounds like you'd still be there if it hadn't.
That was the plan, bro. I wasn't trying to come back.
That was the plan. You thinking about going back to Hawaii or Australia at any point?
Yeah, for sure. Like after all the COVID stuff, obviously.
Yeah.
Since then, but
yeah, they're pretty bad over there.
Yeah.
So what happened then? What was the plan to get a job after you got back to the mainland?
I didn't have a plan, bro. It all happened so fast.
Yeah.
Everything happened. My whole life changed in like 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah, but can you walk us through that mindset of okay, I thought I was going to do this, and then life's nope, you're not going back there.
Yeah, it was honestly, bro. It was I don't know, man. I was kind of really emotional about it because I really wanted to stay out there, had a life out there,
right?
And then, I knew I had stuff here back home, but I really did not. I thought I could, find a way to live out there and start, stay out there type shit.
Do your thing.
And randomly, just everything stopping at one point. It's almost like, damn, well, all right, fuck. Now I'm getting dropped off in Hawaii. You had nothing. I'm thinking, fuck, what's gonna go on? I gotta go home in a few days. I had $50. No, I maybe had I probably had a few hundred, maybe $700 to my name.
Yeah.
Got to come back home. I knew I had support and family and stuff, but I'm like, damn, what am I gonna do? But I found a job shortly. I forgot what I started doing. Maybe serving tables or something. I don't even know, man. I think I was a bum for a while, actually. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
I was a bum for a while, yeah, for a little bit, and then I found a little servant job or some shit like that. Man. I don't know. And then I got into selling life insurance because that was better money.
Sure.
And then I kind of started doing that, and then just started life, bro. That's when just I don't know, man.
You just restarted it. Basically, it sounds like you just hit the reset button.
That's when when people graduated from college at the same age as me, so when I came back from Australia, I was probably 25. I was probably like 25 when I came back from Australia, I think.
Okay.
Maybe. Because that was 2000 and...
Had to have been when I was still in college, right?
Yeah, because when I got banned, I couldn't come back until it was 2000. It was 2020 was when I got banned. Oh, that was the year that I could come back.
So 3 years before that would have been
last
17.
year. So when I got back from Australia, I was like, 26, 27 or something like that. And nah, bro, I was like 25 or 26, something. I don't know.
It had to be like 15 or 16, I think. Like that happened.
Yeah, I was like 25 or 26. But I've already done all the cool shit, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I've done a bunch of cool shit at that point. Well, so, yeah, because I went to college. I got my degree. So you graduate from college, you're like 20, 21, 22, 23. I went to Australia for like, so I came back, I was like 25. But people had already started working in careers and having families and all that stuff. And I'm just like, just coming fresh back from Australia. I'm like, yeah, what's up, yo, boys? Like, what's good? So everything was like real different.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, you just get caught up, man. You just got to catch up. It was, I don't know, man. It was kind of like weird when I came back because, it was like different vibes. Like I used to like the vibes out there. And I come back home and I'm like, damn, like, I don't know if I like this. I wish I was still out there,
Yeah, like there's like an energy change between like the places.
Yeah. Yeah. You know how that is.
Oh yeah, dude. That was something I realized tremendously. Like whenever I came back to San Diego from where was I? Porto Alegre, Brazil. Like when I was there, man, it was bizarre. Like there was a lot of internal, let's say, conflict about like, why am I here? What am I doing? Blah blah blah. But then, like, even just being back in San Diego for less than a day now, or maybe about a day now, about 24 hours, it's like, dude, just I have so much more energy. Like, it's crazy, just like the difference. And the only thing that changed was my environment, It's like, I didn't really go through any crazy, like, life changes, I guess, but, like, just that city you're in, it has a huge impact, I think, on what you experience, what you feel, what you put out there.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So how do you feel like Arizona relates to all that?
I feel like me moving to Australia is the reason that I was like kind of just randomly moved to Arizona because I don't know, spontaneous decision.
Yeah.
I'm in Jacksonville. I've been living in the most awesome place I'd ever lived in for, a year and some change. And then I come back to my hometown. I'm like, damn, I've been here for a while. I need something else. I need something different. Like I can't stay here. Traveling it's opened up my eyes. I'm like, damn, there's way more than just this little city that I'm from. So then I'm like, okay, well, I don't know. Arizona looks cool. So I randomly packed up and I moved all of my stuff to Arizona.
That's very tight. Where did you have it?
Yep.
So where, if we're getting back to like what did you want to be when you grew up? At this point, were you still doing insurance in Jacksonville? And then you just one day you were just like, nope, I'm done. And then just got on a plane and went to Arizona?
Well, I flew to Arizona for insurance for 2 weeks. And I thought it was pretty cool. Came out here for 2 weeks, made some money. So I flew back to Jacksonville. And then, let's say if I flew back on a Sunday, I'd say by Monday, I had decided that I wanted to just come out here. I was single, no kids, no girlfriend, and none of that stuff. I had an apartment, but, I got out of it. So by like Monday or Tuesday, I was like, all right, bet. Well, I want to move to Arizona. I say Thursday, maybe Friday. I say that maybe Thursday. I was like packed up, ready to head out.
Ready to hit the road.
Just gone, bro. I was like, I got to get out of here. I don't know, man.
That's awesome. Did you fly or drive?
Yeah, I drove, bro.
You drove just from
Yeah,
Jacksonville to Arizona.
yeah. Just got out, man. I drove.
You make any stops
I'm not
along the
gonna
way?
cap, bro. I was like low key depressed, man.
Yeah.
I had like just got out of a fucking relationship, and I was like, fuck this, man. I don't want to stay in Jacksonville. I don't want to see this bitch around Jacksonville. I don't want to be around Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Let me just leave, run away from all my problems. I'm thinking Arizona's pretty far. Like, no problem.
They won't find me in Arizona.
Nah, there's no way. And then I got out here and I'm like, fuck.
They found you.
I didn't do shit. Fuck. Now I'm just further away from all of my support. But these fucking problems are still with me. So starting off in Arizona was pretty shitty.
Yeah.
I didn't even come out here, bro. When I came out, I drove out here. I found my Airbnb when I was on the way driving out here. But I'm reckless, bro. Like, no fucking thought behind any of this shit. I'm just like, fuck it, man. I'll just go. I'll figure it out. Get in the car, driving out here, found an Airbnb. You know, I'm chilling in my Airbnb for a couple days. The next thing you know, my card, my only fucking debit card had like some fraud activity on it. So now I can't book another Airbnb because I don't have a card to put on this thing. So then next thing you know, bruh, I'm out in Arizona with all my stuff packed in my car. Fourth, fourth day out here. I don't have anywhere to sleep. I'm sleeping in my car. And I have to because I had to figure it out, bro. Like, trying to not trying to call home and be like, damn, Ma, can you help me with this shit already? He's like, damn, bro, you just left the house.
Right.
I'm dead ass sleeping in my car for 2 nights. It's so I can get a card sent to me. And then, from there, it's just the same thing starting. Just like in Australia, I'm like, all right, well, I've done this once already. In a whole nother country, I can do this shit in my country.
Here's a question.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
how did you get the card delivered to you if you were in a car? Like
the Airbnb, I had them send it to the place where I stayed at. I told the lady, I was like, hey, look, obviously, I told her, I was like, hey, look, I don't have a card. Like, I don't have an address either.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? So she was cool. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty tight. Little blessing.
Yeah, it was nice. See, if you're nice to people, bro, they're nice to you back.
It's crazy how that works. I don't know if people realize that.
It's nothing for me to go somewhere and meet a host or just someone and just be genuine.
Right.
And then you never know if you're going to meet someone later.
Yeah. You never know what blow life's going to throw at you. And especially in your case, it sounds like it throws a lot at you.
But I somehow end up, it always works out, bro. So
it just always works out.
Bad happens.
Hopefully
I
that's...
don't even get mad sometimes no more. I'm just like, man, I'm going to be good.
Hopefully that's something that people can take away from your, essentially your entire story is just that, shit happens.
It's going to be okay, bro.
Be able to figure it out.
I think that's the one thing, bro. That's what I learned from traveling, bro. I'm telling you, man, I got put in some situations and, just unfortunate stuff. It's like, damn, this would only happen to me. But then you could either take it, you could get fucking mad and react. And then what happens? You do something dumb, fuck, now I'm gonna throw my cell phone. Boom. Now, whatever already was the issue is still the issue. And now you don't have a cell phone anymore.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I'm saying? We've all done it. Or, it's I'm not going to say the same thing with fighting because, if you got to fight, you got to fight. But it's just certain situations where if it's just out of your control, it's fuck, well, just it is what it is. You know what I mean? I swear that's it just is. It is what it is.
But even fighting can be similar.
I mean?
End of the day, let's say you get into a fight and quote unquote win. You could still win and have be all cut up. Now you have cuts that you need to take care of, sure. And or maybe you broke your fist, punching or something. It's all right, well, okay, cool. You won a small battle, but lost another battle. So did you really, how great was it that you actually fought this person? But, of course, with that saying, I know there's instances where you can't run away and, you got to do what you got to do. But for the most part,
for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking I don't know what the hell we were talking about, but I don't know. Stuff happens, man. You just kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, we just talked about traveling and how, life just throws shit at you, and you just roll with it. And you're just like, all right, what's next? All right, what's next?
Yeah, that's what I've learned over the years, man. It's like, you're gonna get out of the situation, like, or you're gonna fold. And then even if you fold, you still got to get out of the situation.
Yeah.
So, you still got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, or if it's just something minor, like, don't let something small, like, mess up your whole trip, or like mess up your whole attitude towards like what else the day has coming for you.
It's a mindset, right? It's always about like, as long as your mind's kind of in the right spot, like, are you worrying about stuff, or are you just kind of going with the flow and, making the necessary plans after the fact in order for you to be able to put yourself in the best position possible? It's kind of the way that I see it.
Mm-hmm.
And so then whenever you got into Arizona, what did, because I know you started doing some, maybe you started your own agency. I don't know if you'd call it that, but what was the plan? So whenever you were in your car, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. So whenever you were in your car and you were, you got the Airbnb, the credit card got canceled. What happened after that? You got your credit card. Were you able to book another Airbnb?
Yeah, I ended up figuring it out. I was able to get another, no, by that point I found an apartment. I think at that point I had already found like a place to stay just within a few days.
Okay.
So my card gets there, and that was pretty good. I pretty much, yeah, man, it's like, you can't let it stop the show. Like, I still had to figure stuff out. I'm running appointments still. I had already made insurance appointments, start making money,
Right.
found an apartment, and then just kind of did exactly the same thing that I would have done in Jacksonville, but I just did it here. I had to work. Had to sell life insurance. That's what I was doing. I would have done the same thing back home, but I just wanted, in my head, I needed something new or something different. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just needed it.
You needed to see something else.
That's what I was telling myself. So yeah, but it struggled, man. But when you're out, it's like with anything. We're growing up. I'm still figuring out how to be an adult, struggling, going through stuff emotionally still, and just
right.
Financially. Maybe if I would have not just randomly moved out to the middle of nowhere and thought about it a little better, so it sucked for a while, man.
Yeah, but it's all a part of the adventure, right? It wouldn't be an adventure if everything was going solid the entire time.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, stuff works out. Like, I already know in my head, like, damn, like, it might be bad right now, but this shit's gonna work out. So, and it works out, bro.
Just embrace the moment, kind of deal, and see where it goes.
Yeah, man. I've met hella people since I've been out here. I've done stuff that I would never have done on the East Coast. I've been exposed to different industries and ways to just stuff that I know I wouldn't have been exposed to, hanging with the same people that are chilling where I'm from, bro. Like, doing the same stuff that, like, everyone has their own lives. Like, I don't want to, it's just like,
well, especially the East versus West Coast. Like, the West Coast is a lot different compared to,
yeah, man. Wake up and see mountains every day, and like, people are, I don't know, bro. Like, I don't know. I like it out here.
Yeah, people
are different. People act different.
Yeah,
I like my people from where I'm from. You know what I'm saying?
It's just like a little different.
Are exposed to they're exposed to like different stuff. I feel like.
I think there's probably a level of like the environment, the actual like fact that you have mountains, like that has an impact at some level. Like I remember whenever living in Florida, it was just flat. Like you couldn't even, like, everything was just flat. Like it was literally like as if you looked at the horizon, like the road would just intersect the horizon at a certain point because it was just so flat.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then out here you have like these crazy, like beautiful landscapes of mountains, or, I'm sure you've gone on some hikes in Arizona. There's quite a few, I think. Have you gone on any hikes in like Arizona?
Could you say that again?
We lost them.
The audio kind of went out.
Oh, where'd he go? Sorry about the technical difficulties, guys.
Can you hear me?
That's too bad. Let's do this.
Can you hear me?
Let's see how this comes out in the recording, and if we're able to, I'll try to stitch together. I'll try to get Brian back on the line and stitch it together for the recording. So let's see what happens. I'm gonna stop this for now, and then we'll get it back up. All right, guys, we got Brian back on. So let's give it to you. We were talking about Arizona, the differences between the East Coast and the West Coast. So I was wondering, have you gone on like many of the hikes and trails that they've got in Arizona?
On like a lot of them because, but I have gone on some pretty cool ones though, and they're pretty much everywhere. And I think it's like, if I was back home on the East Coast, I would never go on a hike. You know what I'm saying? If there's even I don't even know if I don't know if that's what you call it while you're on the East Coast. If people like just going on walking trails. But
Yeah,
out here, I mean, you can like actually go up in the mountains and go on these little off the beaten paths and stuff like that. I've been up to Sedona probably about maybe 2 months ago. Did a
yeah,
pretty cool little hike up there, but I mean, anywhere here in the city, I mean, there's like some pretty well known ones that you can go to, but yeah, the hikes are cool. Now that it's cooled down though, I kind of want to do some more. I was actually just online looking for some actual hiking shoes, so I'm gonna go out there and step on something or like twist something
yeah,
and step into something the wrong way.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, even just something as simple as that, I would never just go outside on the East Coast and be like, oh, I'm gonna go for a hike. You know what I mean?
Right. It's just not a
Um,
thing.
nah, and even just seeing like the mountains in general. I can walk outside and I can see these big, awesome mountains. Sunset pretty much every night. Um, the weather, it does get hot. Like it gets extremely hot out here. Um,
Right. It's like
but
that dry
yeah,
humid.
like yeah, man, when it's 100, it's 100. When it's 115, it's 115. When it's 119, you're getting every bit of it.
Yeah.
But right now, I mean, it's 80 degrees outside. Well, today the high was for 80 degrees back home in Florida. I mean, not that you can really
Jeez.
compare the weather and stuff like that, you know what I mean? But
Well,
that's,
I think I'm starting to lose.
that's
I think I'm starting to lose you a little bit with some more technical difficulties. Um, I don't know if your voice is like cutting out or something, but
prepared to figure it out. I think that's what it was. I was prepared to figure it out.
prepared to
I'm
figure
not
it
like
out.
I'm not like someone who's gonna have the whole map. Like I told you when I did the trip, I'll let you go after this, but like when we did our little trip, like my friend, she had the whole map planned out. Like she knew like what dates we were
Yeah.
going for 2 months straight. She knew what was going on. Me, I'm like the first month I'm gonna go to Sydney, and then after that we're gonna go to Melbourne, and then from there we'll figure it out. Like I
I was
have
just,
2 months of the trip planned. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So,
Why look any further ahead?
bro, like I try to be a good person, dog. If you're a good person, good's gonna come back to you. Bad stuff's gonna happen too. But that's why I feel like everything typically works itself out for me. Good out into the world, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
the bad stuff's gonna happen, but the good stuff's gonna happen too. So that's why I figure stuff will just work out with whatever decision you make. But obviously you have to make the decision. With whatever decision you make, you just gotta live with
And just
it.
follow through
It's
with it. Commit to it.
bad, but look, the decision's made. Go on with it.
All right. Well, again, your voice is kind of cutting out here and there, so I'm hoping that it's going to capture it for everybody else. Because I'm kind of lip reading here of what you're saying. But I think those are honestly great words and closing remarks to kind of end this on. Was there anything else you want to add?
I don't know if you can hear me, but I just think, everyone should always wanted to do, even if you don't have, like, you think that you have, like, the perfect plan or you don't think that you're ready, like just do it, man. Like you really only live here like one time. You know what I mean?
80,
So
80 years isn't a lot.
you gotta do, man. Like
Yeah.
get some of this money out here. Like I know we kind of talked about a whole lot of stuff, but I think that's what it is. Like, don't be afraid to just. If you always wanted to move somewhere, just fucking move, bro. Like you'll figure it out. You'll find a job. You'll make friends. Like unless you just sit in your apartment all day, like you're gonna bump into someone and meet someone. Like and moving out of your hometown is literally the best fucking thing you can do.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say. I'll end it on that. That's the best fucking thing you can do.
And hey, as someone who's done it, I completely agree with you on that. So Brian, I want to say thanks, man. I appreciate you coming on, sharing your story, sharing some insight about traveling and and loving life, and being prepared for the unprepared. So guys, if you're still listening, I appreciate it. I appreciate your time. Go ahead, smash the like button, share, leave a review. Let me know how Brian did. Leave a review on, if you're watching on YouTube, leave a review on who you think has the shinier head. I think we were having a conversation about it, but I think, hey, you don't get to look better than me. So other than that, appreciate your time, guys. Like, share, subscribe, do all the fun stuff, get it all in the algorithm. And other than that, let's keep growing together.